Right, welcome back to the Weekly Yarns. My name's Barry, for those of you who's new. Well, quite a busy week this week, haven't we? Monday we started off with full intention of finishing off that cast and getting it ready for cleaning and painting. We were going to drill the studs out. We're going to remove the two studs for the stabilising arms, until we found out somebody had left us a lovely unwanted present, won't we? And that will be the broken half-inch tap. Mind, having said that's a good job it's half-inch in it. Well, at least it's a reasonable size, isn't it? Half-inch UNC, where you can get in with a grinding stone, and you can hopefully, well, not hopefully, we will get that out. That will come out. It's I just haven't spent the time on it this week because of other things, but it will be removed. I have in the past, you tend to find taps snap on the way in, not on the way out, because people put too much pressure on them with the tap wrench, and they are uneven with that pressure, and the tap experiences uneven pressures across its cylindrical body, and it just snaps off like that right at the top of the cast and right at the top of the hole. Now it happens for a couple of reasons. One, the tap could have bottomed out. It could have gone right down to the bottom, could have bottomed out in the hole, and then someone's just tried to give it a little bit, and as they've done so, they've gone heavier on the left or right hand, and it's caused an uneven pressure, and it's ripped the tap clean off. And why it always rips off right at the top of the hole, or just around about the area of the lip of the hole, is because the tap inside the hole is fully supported. And although they're hardened, they are brittle. If you were to put a tap on the floor, sometimes even if you just drop a tap on the concrete floor, it can snap the tap, it can damage the tap, it can break teeth off it. But you put it down in a hole like that where it is fully supported, and it becomes rock solid. So how did we know it was a tap? I mean, you saw in the video it was fairly well rusted over. It just looked like any other stud. But I went in to centre punch it with my little centre punch, to put a little centre punch mark right in the middle so I could pop a drill in and begin drilling. The instant that I hit it with the hammer and the punch, it took the point straight off the punch. Now that tells you it's extremely hard. And you're thinking to yourself, really shouldn't be that hard if it's a bolt. So you start looking a little bit closer. And when you look at it a little bit closer, looking down on it, 10 o'clock position, you could see a little hole. And you're thinking, why has a stud got a hole in it there? Then all of a sudden the panic sets in and you think, oh my God. So you get a few little pointy, like me little copper, you get a little piece of copper wire, and you start poking around and you find 4 holes. And you think, now what's happened here? That must have snapped off going in. I think it's bottomed out, and they snapped it at the bottom. How do I think it's bottomed out like that? Because he wasn't cutting a thread, he was merely cleaning a thread. And I know from the first hole, where you see me drill it right, nearly right out to the point where we're touching the top of the pitch of the thread, the peaks. There's still quite a bit of meat to come out of that hole, even though the thread already exists, and bearing in mind that it's rusted in. And that's what makes me think that he's either, someone's gone in there with a drill, just possibly he hasn't had the confidence to get it as close to the threads as I've had it. He's had a bit too much meat left in it, or the fact that now he's gone and hit the bottom and he's given it one more and he just took it off. So it'll be stuck solid. Now, in the past, I have removed these Having said that, not on the way in, but when they were on the way out, where they're getting bumped and snapped, I have removed them with 4 fingers of spring steel. You get 4 tiny little slivers of spring steel and you insert them through the flutes on the tap into the hole. Full depth, as far as you can go. You put another 4 fluted tap on top and you clip the spring steel into the flutes of the upper tap, and you can turn them back out. Having said that, not one this, I've never tried with one this size. It's always been 1/4, 3/16, 6 mil, something like that. So we went through 3 punches trying to break up the tap, 2 stones starting to grind it out, and I always have a little selection of stones in, like these. Got these just the other day, popped back out to Lidl's. $2.99 each at Lidl's they are. And they're always worth picking up when you see them, you know what I mean? Just, they're always handy to have, aren't they, little stones like that for dressing up. Aldi's, I don't know what's happened to Aldi's lately. Don't get any tools in there anymore. Aldi's, I've got me compressor, I've got my little welder, I've got all my air tools that I have. I bought them all from Aldi. And I don't know what's happened, but our local Aldi stores just stopped getting anything in like that, any tools at all. Any sensible tools. You get stuff in, but it's not sensible. So we nip along the road the other end of Afghanistan to Lidl's. They've always got a good range of equipment in, and they're constantly changing over. As I say, my welder, I got my welder from Aldi. And I got my first pack of welding rods from Aldi. Never had them in again. Now, Lidl's quite often come along with, in fact, I think their welders were cheaper than Aldi's. And they do often have packs of welding rods, which is when I see them, pick them up, put them in my drawers. Because you never know when people's going to stop stocking them. So what else are we getting done this week then? A steam cleaner. As you know, Gemma was having problems with the steam cleaner. It froze a couple of weeks ago in that heavy frosts that we had. Popped the top off the raw water filter. So I ordered some parts, ordered raw water filter, new fuel filters. They came on Tuesday, I think, Monday, Tuesday. So we've popped them back in, got that all back together. What we need to do now, we need to do a bit of tuning up on it, as Lance would say. We need to do a bit of tuning up. It's burning. I've got it burning, I've got it igniting, got it heating water, but it's dirty. Now, went back online last night, did some research, and initially I thought it was putting too much diesel in. But it quite well could be that it's actually not enough air. So there is a dampener on the side of the fan on that. So later on today, I'm going to whip the side cover back off that, and we're going to have a look at this damper. It can't be adjusted, because when you look at the tube for the air intake, you can see a set of graduations on it. So we'll take some pictures of where it is now, so we can return it back to its settings, and then we will do the adjustments on the air dampener on that and see if we can get it to burn cleanly. Barring that, it might be we look into the nozzle. It could be the fact that it's the nozzle is just worn inside, and that it is, the spray pattern could be wrong. But we'll look at that, we'll have a look at it anyway. But in terms of our cleaner, thanks to Campbell and G503 Gust, who came back with loads of information about it. Thank you very much. I think it was G503 Gust that said that he initially said that on the side, that delta block was a solenoid valve. Campbell come back and confirmed that, yeah, it's solenoid valve, solenoid pump rather, sorry. And he says it could be that the internals is blocked. Now, as soon as I put the clean filter on, it was pumping fluid. And it looks as though a lot of the issues have been that dirty filter to start with. But when I took it to bits, I think you saw in the previous video, when I took that to bits, everything had been dismantled inside. The earth cable had been removed from the heater pot. The two ignition cables had been pulled out, the coil, the control cable for the coil had been removed. The two tubes, the two bits of pipework that control the, I think it's the soap side of life, that had been removed. And you think, somebody's been in there, done all that, but not changed the fuel filter. Really doesn't make sense, does it? Anyway, fingers crossed, the good news is it's on the road to return. So we'll see. Let's see, we'll crack on with that this afternoon. Hopefully we'll get it to clean up a little bit. And I think what it wants is just a real good run. We've all had phone calls like this, haven't we? Knocking 7 bells out of this casting, trying to get the broken studs out. Phone rings. Dad, what are you doing? And it's like, Gemma, I'm just busy knocking the studs out of this broken casting. Wiley, what's the matter? What are you doing tomorrow? Well, not a lot. And quite really, you haven't got a lot planned, have you, other than still fighting with the casting. So it's like, I've got the mobile dippers coming tomorrow, and I need an extra pair of hands just to keep the sheep moving up the ramp into the tank so they can get dipped. Can you help with? Yes, my darling, yes, I'll be there. What time would you like me there? 8 o'clock. Because if Mum can do the school run, you can give us a hand to set up, and we'll get this done. It'll be an hour and a half. We've all had the hour and a halves before, haven't we? So, 8 o'clock we turned across. Deb nipped away, did the school run. Me and Gemma lashed on, we got some jobs done around the farm. The dipper got delayed in traffic on his, because he was coming from Durham. So he got delayed in traffic around the Bowes Incline, Angel of the North, that area. Everybody will know that in the UK. I think there's been roadworks for, oh God, the last 5 years that I've known, they've been replacing the railway bridge at the bottom, where the A1 crosses the railway at the bottom of Team Valley. As I say, it's been 5 years. I'm absolutely sure it's been 5 years. Anyway, so mobile dipper turns up, we get some push through, but what hard work, what physical, all day long. Ended up being about an 8-hour shift because we had to dip them, we had to let them stand for a little while to drain. Then the lambs had to be transported off site away to a field on the corner to clear space. You see the lambs are the ones in the shed behind the red pens. They had to be transported to a field about a mile down the road so that we could get space for lambing. I think there's 142 lambs or something in total. Well, you can only get 45-ish on a trailer load. So, what's that, 4 trailer loads, get them all away. So, anyway, so I've got some video for you guys. I'll take you for a walk around, we'll show you some bits and pieces, we'll show you what's going on the farm, and we'll show you what's going on with the pressure washer. Alright. Daisy, Daisy. Hello. Daisy, Daisy. Daisy, there's your little friend with you. You three boys are noisy. We're going to put this back together as best we can today. The porch turned up. Let's have a quick look at what parts and see what we're going to do. So, when your raw water filter turned up, I've given my banjo bolt a wire brushing. We've got two doughty washers here that go either side of our banjo bolt. Two new fuel filters, because if you remember, that one was absolutely beautiful, wasn't it? That could have gone back in, no problem. So, if we get this put in today, get the water reconnected, we can get the fuel reconnected, the burner head built back up with the igniters in and this coil arrangement, and we can see if we don't, we'll not pop this back into the burner, into the pot at the minute, into the heater element. We will wait until we get all this done, then we can pressurise the system, at which point we should then see a spark across the tip of the electrodes. There should be a continuous electrical flux going on across the front of that, the electrodes there. But whatever, today we should get all this back on. We should be able to get the pressure side of this to work, even if we still haven't got the heater side of it to work. But we can then always look at the heater side separately, can't we? Because of that, if we can get the pump to work for her, at least she's got something to wash with. If the burner doesn't work, we can look at that at another day. But what we'll do is we'll put all the fuel system back together. We're going to flush the lines through and make sure they're clean, and then we are going to see if we've got fuel delivery to the burner nozzle. It's a bit like an old petrol car, isn't it? If you've got spark, fuel and air, what's stopping it running? We'll find out, won't we? I don't think it's going to be very exciting putting it back together, because it's all just nuts and bolts. But I'll bring you back in stages as we get it done, so you can see what's happening. Alright, back in a minute. Got the new raw water strainer in place. Hose is reconnected. I haven't reconnected this, which is the dosing system for the shampoo or the cleaner. It goes into this little brass bolt in here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get some of these clips, or a little Jubilee clip, and I'll cut that off and I'll thread that in if this works okay. I don't need that at the minute. Right, so to gain access into the back of here, which is here, is the banjo bolt. I took this sensor off. So you put a screwdriver into this little groove, pop the wire clip up, pull the sensor off. It gives you a bit more room here to get your hand in. But what you got to watch for is this pressure switch. There's a plunger on the back of the pressure switch that operates this sensor. You still, with the spanner, you are still restricted to either that distance or that distance, because the spanner comes in here and you don't want to damage that little plunger on the end of this pressure switch, otherwise this sensor will not work. So in terms of spanner distance, you're still restricted, but at least you can get in and get that in, screw it up, and all it needs then is nipping with the spanners. We're going to take the fuel lines off here, both of them. We're going to blow them out, make sure they're clean, make sure there's nothing in there. So a couple of people come back, including Campbell. This is an electronic solenoid pump. I haven't seen any drawings for it, so I don't know what is inside it. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty loath to open it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to blow the pipes out, see if that works, and then we're just going to connect the feed and see if we can get diesel to come out of this pipe here. See if we can get fuel out of here. If not, then we're going to have to take this to bits and see what's going on inside this. Because it may be, again, Campbell said the components in here are small and it takes absolutely nothing to block them. So, let's put some more components back together. Let's put the burner head back together. Let's get the fuel line, the filter on, all the lines cleaned out. Let's see what we've got here. Back in a minute. Right, we're putting it all back together. Good news is the igniters are working. I'm going to show you in a minute. But for some reason we're not getting fuel supply, or we are not getting sufficient fuel supply. So let's have a quick look at what's happening now. Down in here, as you can see, we have got fuel in the filter. Obviously the top hasn't filled up because there's air in it. But down here there is fuel. So that fuel is being pumped into there. It's got to be something with this. And I need to do some research as to find out, if I take these 4 screws out, take that off, what is inside there. Worst comes to worst, what's this going to cost me? Or can I check it? Is it electronic? Is it the electronics that's not working on it? The igniter's running. You see the igniter is going hell for leather, so the ignition side of it is good. It's a fuel supply problem, which is hopefully, fingers crossed, not so bad. I need to look into that delta pump, find out what's going on there. So what we're going to do now, we'll get this boxed back up. I'm happy that's working. We're going to get this box back up, we'll get it away back to Gemma, because I know I can get at this cross at the farm very quickly by whipping this side panel off. Alright. You can see. Right, ready?
Right.
That's working in a fashion. Not working the way it should be working, because I think, personally, I think that's putting in too much diesel. I think there's far too much diesel getting into that nozzle. Now that could be either the nozzle's worn, the nozzle's damaged, the nozzle might be in the wrong place. There is a set of measurements that the nozzle is supposed to, there's 8.5 inch is the standard procedure for the settings on those, which is 1/8 of an inch between the 2 electrodes, 1/8 of an inch in front of the front face of the nozzle, and a 1/2 inch from the centre of the nozzle to the line between the centre of the 2 electrodes. I'm putting that back together the way it came out, and it's an 1/8 and 1/8 and a 1/4 of an inch, or 3/8, 1/4 or 3/8, from centre line to centre line. But I have had a quick look online. There are different settings for different burners. I've got some pictures. We will get that away back to Gemma's tomorrow, basically so I can get some more room in here, but at least you can use it as a cold water pump. It is burning, it is heating up, but I just think it's putting far too much diesel in. But I'm going to seek some more advice from someone who knows. Possibly there's a guy up in Scotland, Dave McCluckey, who he's repaired his burner. So we're going to look at that. We're going to see if he can have a look at our video and see what he thinks is going on there. It could be the pump putting too much fuel in. It could be the electronics that control the pump. It could be the nozzle worn. We'll see. But anyway, it's up, it's running, it's firing, which is the main things, because I was concerned initially that it did start putting out loads of black smoke and then it just stopped igniting totally. And I thought maybe the igniters had gone, or that coil pack, the transformer, looked like a transformer. I thought maybe that had gone. But obviously it hasn't. Everything, if you can see in the video, everything is working beautifully. It's just a case of we need to get the settings right. So thank you very much for joining us. That's it for this week. As always, your time is greatly appreciated when you come visiting us to see what we're doing. Again, you've seen the video on that with the heavy smoke. And it's stinking of diesel. Whilst it's smoking, it's stinking of diesel. Any guidance, any advice on that, drop it in the comments, send us an email, whatever, and we'll see if we'll do some tuning up, as Lance would say. We'll give it a tune up and we'll get that to work properly again, because that's the only stuff that shifts heavy grease and heavy dirt. Hot steam, right? You can scrape it and whatever, but you'll be on forever and ever. That'll do 100, 140 degrees C, good steam clean, doesn't leave an awful lot left on the metalwork, does it? So, as I say, guys, thank you very much for visiting. Hope it's been useful to you, been a big learning curve for me. So hopefully we'll see you through the week in another video that might be tweaking that, or it might be trying to finish off getting that broken stud out of that casting, because as of today it's still there and it looks like we're going to have to grind it all the way out, doesn't it? Right, anyway guys, thank you very much, much appreciated. See you in the next one. Don't forget, if it's been useful, please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, tell your mates. See you in the next one. Remember, don't overthink it, it's only nuts and bolts. Bye now.